Hey, hey TikTok and YouTube. How is it going today? Okay, I'm just going to put in these armatures on catular. So I'm just straightening them so they're a bit easier to work with. Okay, some gloves on first. Hey Olivia, how are you? Thanks for coming back. What's going on here? Alright, so I'm going to be using some epoxy sculpt to attach these. Okay, so epoxy sculpt is a two-part epoxy. And I don't need too much for this one. So we're going to do equal parts of A and B. I think that should be enough. Is that a furless cat you're making? I'm making a vampire. It's a Halloween doll, so I'm making a Count Catula, I'm calling it. You made it back in the feed? Nice. Count Catula. So I'm just going to attach the armature pieces. And then I'll do a little work on the coffin. But I do have a hairless cat. How did the gecko go? Gecko's finished. I did the little claws yesterday, so they're done. Nice and realistic. Super cute. So yeah, gecko's done. All I need to do is take some photos. Just make sure I've got the right equal parts and I can start mixing it. Yeah, I'll put gecko here for now. I really enjoyed doing it. I've been really enjoying making lizards, so we'll see how the rattlesnake goes. Looks lovely, thank you. The rattlesnake will be in like the next lot, so I'll get these Halloween dolls done, and then the vast array of dolls that I've got sitting there waiting to be finished, which they're not far off. Most of them just need like half of the sewings done, so yeah, but I want to get these Halloween dolls done, or at least one. I wanted to do a hellhound as well, but we'll see. We'll see how far I get with that. I don't have high hopes for that I'll get it done. But yeah, so I'm waiting for the fur to come for Count Catula. I'm going to make like a little Dracula outfit as well. And hopefully I can just make a pattern and sew it. And I might put the pattern on my Patreon. Maybe we'll see how it turns out. I'm not a fantastic seamstress, so all right, I'm just mixing in the epoxy sculpt to make sure it's nice and mixed in properly, and then I'll separate it into 5 pieces. And you can sort of tell if it's mixed in properly because it sort of marbles a little bit. Taxidermy, fakeodermy, or fake, not real. So I use polymer clay and fake fur, cotton, you name it. You name it, I'll use it. I bought a bunch of different little findings pieces for the coffin, so I don't know. Hopefully they come in time. So I'll try and finish like most of the coffin to the point. Do I have any griffins? All of the griffins that I've made have sold, but I do take commissions, so I'm happy to make one. What is that? What is what? All right, let's separate it to equal parts. This one, a bit more here. All right. So the good thing about Epoxy Sculpt is it's water soluble. Is that real? No, they're fake. All fake. I just use polymer clay and fake fur or cotton, where I've done all the scale work on it. So yeah, I sculpt to pieces. I don't use any animal products either. So yeah, cruelty free, kind of. I guess like schematics with the production of fake fur and stuff, I guess. All right, so I'm just using some epoxy sculpt to attach these armature pieces. Is that saying Anor? No? Is that from Dragon Ball Z? Or Dragon Ball G, whatever one we're up to. ABC. All right, so just going to make sure we've got enough here. Dragon Ball Z, yeah. I think, I don't know. I can't pick a favorite. I mean, I like Beerus and Whis from the newer ones, but I think I'm a Cell fan over the rest of them. Cell and then Boo. And then Frieza. Wasn't a fan of Frieza. All right. Leave this to dry. Oh, I'm running out of room. All right, let's put it over here. Leave them to dry over there. Yeah. I know lots of people like Frieza, but not me. Not a huge fan. Okay, so I think once I finish attaching these armatures, these need 24 hours to go hard, to cure, for this epoxy to cure, and then it'll be good to go for painting. So I'll just have to set these aside overnight before I can paint anything. I'm just going to angle it a little bit. And you can use other things. You don't have to use epoxy sculpt, but I like epoxy sculpt. Just make some room. Next. Yeah, hopefully all these little finding bits come. I got all these brass little filigree finding things, so like jewelry pieces, so I can decorate the coffin for Count Catular. But I mean, as far as the cat goes, I can paint it, put it all together, and then I just have to wait for the fur to come, which shouldn't be. It'll probably be next week. Hey, Sir. Does the epoxy sculpt have a smell? Like really slightly. I wouldn't say it's like. I can barely smell it, if that's any help. Barely has a smell. Like maybe a tiny bit, kind of clay-ish. Clayish smell. This is epoxy sculpt. So that's what it looks like. So it comes in 2 parts. And you mix like equal parts, and it kind of mixes into a clay, which you can sort of smooth out with water. So it's water soluble, which is good. And you've got, depending on the temperature, you've got about half an hour, 40-minute work time before it starts to tack off and set. So if it's warm, it generally goes off faster. So yeah, I only do certain things with it. I don't do majority of my dolls with it, but attaching things like armatures I use it for because it's quite strong. So that's what I do. You can also use like something like araldite, which is like again, it's another epoxy, but it's like a paste that you mix together and it will set really quickly. Thanks, Emmy. And it comes in like a two different tubes as well, and you just mix it together and it goes off, and you got goes off in about 2-3 minutes. But it's not as strong as epoxy sculpt. So yeah, you can see it smooths out with water. And yeah, just trying to blend it into the rest of it. So these were the feet that I sculpted yesterday. Make it nice and neat. Set it aside for 24 hours. Overnight, it should go. Hi, Arlo. How are you? Now, for the coffin. How should we do the velvet? So I'm going to do red velvet inside. You thought it was a real cat. Have I almost finished the catular or the coffin? I mean, there's lots. There's lots happening that's almost finished. The only thing I've finished is the leopard gecko. We're getting there. I'm strapped for time these days, but we're getting there. The lizard. Yes, I have finished the lizard. I'll take my gloves off and I'll pick it up because I've got epoxy sculpt all over my gloves. But yes, I have finished the lizard. All right, that should be good to go. Get rid of this. Okay, I'll show you the lizard. I need to make some eyes for the rattlesnake too, which I'm thinking of going for like silvery eyes. But yeah, here's the lizard. You see all the bumpy details? It feels really nice. And yeah, the underbelly, which I sanded these ones, so they're nice and flat. So people were adamant that they have flat scales underneath, so which is good because it pushed me to try something a bit different. But you can see the difference in texture. But yeah, so this one will be up next week, so I've got to take some photos and whatnot. And I will have a full tutorial video on how I made him as well. So yeah, that's the lizard. All right, now, shall we finish the coffin while the painting? So yesterday I did some like fake wood grain painting on the coffin, which I think turned out really well. So I've got just the other bits to finish. And then the inside, I've got the inside I've got like this red velvet, which I hope that I have enough red velvet in there. So I think I'll have to play around with how I do this. But have I done a monkey? Yeah, I've done a few different types of primates. I did the proboscis monkey. That was good. So yeah, it's going to sort of look like this. And I think that's going to be cool. So I don't know whether to add a bit of padding. And then, yeah, Count Catular can sit. That'll fit in there. So they look good. Why am I making a coffin? So I'm making a oriental cat for Halloween. That's a Dracula. So I want to put it in like a little coffin. So I'm going to make a little Dracula outfit, but I think it'll be really cute. I've been holding on to this for so long. And yeah, I think it'd be a really cool little project to go all out. But yeah, it's going to look cute. Let's clean this up. All right. So I'll finish doing the painting on this one. Where are we? Some water. So I did like I made like a little tutorial. Oh, hello, thanks for the follow. I'm using the color Burnt Umber, which is like a reddish brown. And I'm sort of mixing it with water, and that sort of gives, it sort of soaks into the timber a bit better, and it creates like a streaking, if that makes sense. So let's give it a crack. So I'm just going to wet and then sort of apply it, and then go in one long sweep. And it sort of creates a bit of a streak. It's very streaky. So you just want to make sure it soaks in, and then just drag it down in a straight line, and it starts creating some graining effect. I'm just going to go over this I did yesterday. So yeah, looks like wood grain. Yeah, I sort of did this a while ago with some other project, and yeah, it worked really well. So I sort of kept it in the back of my mind. I used to do a lot of like plaques out of MDF and painting like a fake wood grain, and then I'd do like a fantasy head on it. So yeah, sort of what I kept going on here. So yeah, I'll finish painting this, and then maybe I've got a lot of sewing to do, or I can style, I can continue styling Shiranui's tail, which I'm like half styled it. Let's get the edges. So yeah, I like to work on a couple of different things. And then maybe tomorrow I'll paint catular. I don't reckon those findings are going to come in time. I don't want to co-host. Go away. Stop asking for co-hosting. All right. So, no. Yes, the lizard is finished. Ta-da! That's a good shot of the eyes. Yeah, so little kind of pinkish toned underbelly. So yeah, I've got to take some photos of him. And then, looks rad, thank you. Gecko boy. Yeah, I'll take some photos, and then I will probably put him up for grabs next week. So that'll be exciting. I might just open this and just paint this little tiny section here. Paint around the lock. I'll clean the lock up a bit later. Okay. What's the little coffin for? So I'm doing a Halloween doll, Count Catular. So it's a little like vampire Dracula cat. So the cat's going to go in the coffin, and yeah, thought it was a good idea. Awesome. Yeah, I've held onto this coffin for so long, and I wasn't sure. I was going to put a bat in it, but yeah, I don't know. I've had this for like 2 years. This coffin. I thought I saw it in the shop and I was like, I can do something with that. So here we are, finally doing something with it. Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't. I was going to do like a vampire bat, but Count Catular. How can you not? Fantastic idea. If I do say so myself. So yeah, I have high hopes for this doll. High hopes for this one. I do want to do a Hellhound too, but I think I'm going to run out of time to get that finished. But I did make the eyes for it. Yeah, I wanted to include LEDs and stuff in it, which obviously takes longer because I want sort of the rib cage to glow a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm just watering down this brown so I can get this streakiness. And then I've got 2 sides left. Just make sure. Okay. All right. Now I've got really awkward spot here. I'll just quickly do the top of this coffin. And then, I don't know if I should do the inside of it or not, actually. I can always do it after. I probably should, actually. Ayo, because it's pooping. Poopy cat. Your coffin. It's small. Tiny coffin. Okay, last bit. And I'll leave this bit to dry. He thought it was a cat. Melbourne here too. Yay, hi Melbourne. Are these taxidermy? No, they're not. They're fakeodermy. Or fake. So I sculpt them out of polymer clay and basically use fake fur majority of the time. Or cotton if I'm doing a reptile. But no, I don't use any animal products. I don't have the stomach for taxidermy anyway. No thanks. And then you have to deal with bugs because it's organic. So no thanks. Not for me. All right. How are we looking here? Well, that's good. So basically, thank you for the rose. So basically I haven't got them yet, but I bought a whole bunch of like bronze filigree findings. Hi, Bob. So to decorate the coffin. So basically it'll have like, I wanted to do realistic decorations, right? So I'm going to do like little corner things. I think it'll look really cool with like this bronze stuff. I think it just makes it a little bit more realistic and a little bit more finished. So if I don't get them in time, I can use these ones. I have enough to do the corners, but it'll be just the corner. And I thought doing like a little emblem in the middle as well. Just depends. Depends. I can always make more coffins. I've got a mini one as well that I can do it to. But yeah, we'll let that dry. So that's mini coffin. Let's put it up here. Okay. Now, next, what do we have on the agenda for the next lot? I can do some sewing. Maybe I'll do... So I've been working on this little elephant commission. I'll just clean this mess up for a second. All right, I've been working on this little elephant commission, and I've got two more. I've got the two legs to sew basically, and just gonna move this for a second. Yeah, I've got two more legs to sew. I still got a lot of work to do on it, but I attached the trunk, so the trunk's posable, but I'm going to sculpt the end, like the little nose piece. And I just want to do a little bit more work on the wrinkling of this as well. So yeah, I haven't finished the trunk just yet, but we're getting there. But yeah, I did make the trunk posable. And this is a baby one. So once it's all finished, I'm going to sort of go over bits and pieces again, probably just the paintwork a little bit to blend this in a little bit. And I think it needs a matte medium over the top of it. But yeah, so I can either sew that. I've also been doing some work on, if you know the game Okami, the Shiranui character. I've been doing some work on the tail as well. So I've been trying to get the little curls and stuff in there. So I've got the whole back piece to keep going with. So I've got that. So yeah, I don't know. We could do some sewing. We could do some work on the tail. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided what to do. I've got lots of sculpting to do. But yeah, thanks for the follow. Maybe we'll do a little bit of sewing. How about that on this guy? Thank you for the likes. So this is like a kind of like a silicone or latex over the top of this fabric, and it makes it look like skin basically. The only difference is we have to use some upholstery thread, which is quite thick, just to make sure it doesn't snap or anything. But I'll do a little bit of sewing on this just to get some sewing done. And then I'll move on to maybe styling the tail a little bit. So just to shake things up a bit, because I've still got a bit of sewing to do on multiple dolls. But it would be nice to get the Shiranui done before the new game comes out, which I'm not sure what year it comes. I don't know when it's due out. The new Okami game, the sequel. That's exciting. All right, so I'm going to use a ladder stitch, and I want to make sure I'm bringing it down quite low, and then I'll stick this with some tacky glue once it's all sewn up. But in terms of the sewing, with the ladder stitch, it has to be quite a small stitch, and that just sort of curls the end over and makes it a bit of a seamless seam line. I mean, you can't get completely seamless seam line when you're using this type of fabric, but the smaller the stitch, the easier it is to hide it and the cleaner it is. So it just takes a little bit longer than using fake fur, but you know, that is what it is. I don't like sewing. I hate it. Do I paint over the fabric? I will probably paint in some like wrinkling illusion, because there's obviously there's only so much you can do with fabric. Like it's virtually impossible to create the wrinkling textured wise. That's why I left the face sculpted, because I sculpted in all this wrinkling. So thanks for the follows, guys. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this holds paint fine, but I'm going to do like some darker shading, I guess, to look like the wrinkling. But yeah, this is a baby Asian elephant for a customer. It's a commission piece, so it is going to the States soon when I actually finish it. But yeah, this is my only commission at the moment. The last one I did, what was the last one I did? I can't even remember. I can't remember. But yeah, this fabric's a little hard to work with as well, because it is kind of like I'm assuming it's a latex over the top of like a cotton fabric. Yeah, you can order. I have plenty in my shop, or I do take commissions as well. So Poo Poo Cat is looking for a home as well. And I do offer payment plans as well. So my shop is creaturesofnat.com, and the link is in my little description bio thing, whatever you want to call it. But yeah. Any sausage dogs? I don't have any at the moment, but I can make one. I can definitely take a commission for one. I haven't made a sausage dog before. I've done other dogs, but not a sausage dog. Wouldn't it be cool to actually make a sausage as a dog? In a bun. Maybe that can be on the future agenda. A sausage as a dog. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to get the Hellhound done for Halloween. So it might just have to be a project, a passing project that will take longer. What's the prices? So usually they range between $480 to $680, depending on what it is and how complex it is. That's US plus the shipping. But yeah, I do offer payment plans, but they're generally, around $580. So it's in between that. $480 is generally the really basic, sometimes resin pieces. And the more expensive ones have like things like movable jaws and stuff. Duke of Whiskers. That's a good one. Top tier. Oh, really? That's weird. What a strange. Okay. Whatever brings. Whatever brings. There's not much eating going on here, unfortunately. Where are you? I might be able to recommend someone. Something. I might be able to recommend a place. I feel like, I don't know if anyone watches Seinfeld, but, Kramer, that got his number crossed with movie phone. Was the gecko annoying to it? No, I actually enjoyed doing it. So, yeah, I did all the scales individually, so it was quite nice, actually. I don't mind it. So there's definitely dolls that are annoying to do, 100%. But no, I generally try not to do things that, probably when I first started, I'd get annoyed really easily. But, I've been doing this for a long time now, so I sort of know I've got a good technique and stuff now, and I like to experiment a bit more. Right under this live was the video. Oh, there you go. Maybe TikTok's actually doing something right. Oh, for once. But yeah. So yeah, the rattlesnake is the next reptile with a functioning rattle. So, but that's in the next batch of dolls. But I do, in that batch, I'm going to include a Christmas doll too, which is going to be a Sphinx cat with a Christmas sweater, an ugly Christmas sweater. So it's cute. It's going to be cute. So yeah, I'll just sew this leg and then I'll move to something else. I can sculpt something. I can do the tail. Maybe I'll finish the tail. At least that way I can start sewing it up. I've got all of, like, you know, the little, in okami, the little leg pieces, whatever they're called. I need to make them too. It's a big task, this doll. But yeah. So for the hellhound, I've got these LED lights, right? So the hellhound, I've made the eyes for it, which are, they're not going to have a pupil in it. So I made these eyes yesterday, day before. They're sort of yellow with like orangey around it. I don't know if I'm going to get LEDs in there, but I've got these LED lights, and I'm going to do like a exposed rib cage with like a orange lava fiery effect on the side. So then I'm going to stick these LEDs in. I have no idea where these LEDs came up from either. They just appeared on my desk, but they're like an orangey LED. They're perfect. So I'm going to try and light up the sides of like the rib cage on the hellhound, and yeah, see how that goes. You really like the oh, thank you. Yeah, I need to start getting back into painting. I'm just really strapped for time, but yeah, I need to start. I want to do a few more conventions next year, possibly. So I'd like to have like prints available as well, like things that aren't so expensive, because not everyone's can afford an art doll, which I understand. So I'd like to have some little things, you know. But yeah, I've got a lot of like galaxy paintings and sunset paintings, forest ones, all those sorts of things. So I completely teaching myself how to paint. I don't know how to paint. So is there a right or wrong way? I don't think so. You just do. You just do it. So yeah. Okay, so I should get a reference picture up of a little baby elephant, because I am wanting to add a little bit more polyfill. So this is the stuffing that I use. How much will a sausage dog cost? Really basic sausage dog, you probably $5.50 US plus the shipping. But yes, you can do a payment plan as well, and I'm really flexible with them. So it basically let you tell me when and how much. It can be as little as $15, you know, every now and again. But yeah, and then I send it out once it's all paid off. But yeah, it'll take me between 2-3 months to finish. But yeah, if you're in the US, then you have obviously a tariff fee as well, which will be 10% of the $5.50, which will be $55. It's insane. I do need to do a horse. I will. I'll get there. It's just not high. It's just not high on the priority list. And I wanted to do a leopard Appaloosa. That was like my first. I'm in Melbourne too, but most of my customers are in the US, so that's why it's in USD. I was having to explain currency to a lot of Americans, unfortunately. So it was just easier to change it to USD, but I'm thinking of changing it back to AUD. But yeah, anyway, backstory. Sorry, I missed your question. How much would a lion? I actually have a lion looking for a home. I have a lion and a lioness. I just finished them maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. You should make all gear for the horses. Oh, that's so time consuming. I would love to, but so time consuming. So time consuming. I did make, so I used to do a lot of fantasy dolls. And I used to make, like, sometimes I would make saddles and stuff for them. What's the difference between taxidermy and fake taxidermy? So taxidermy uses the skin of real animals, whereas fake taxidermy, I don't use any animal products. I sculpt the head, basically, so like that, and create the body out of fabric. So this is cotton and like a mixture of acrylic medium and Mod Podge. So yeah, or fake fur, like the cat, which I airbrushed the pattern work into. So that's the difference. I don't use any animals. And it doesn't attract bugs. I guess you could call it vegan. I'd sort of call it sculpture more than vegan taxidermy, but whatever floats your boat. So I used to, if I would do a bird or something, I used to use feathers, but like trying to source ethically sourced feathers. I just don't want to use animal products. So I have been making my own feathers, which I'm not 100% happy with the technique. Hello, how are you? So I'm going to try a little bit of a different technique as well, using I think what I'm going to do is use like a mesh fabric and like use Mod Podge to create like a feather effect, and then I can cut out like the shape of a feather. Thank you for the follow and share. Much appreciated. All right, so I just need to go around here. It's stuck. I just need to go around here, and then I'll do some work on maybe Shiranui's tail. I think that's what we're going to do. See how that goes. So I'm using a ladder stitch to sew this up as well. And a really strong upholstery thread. So you need like a good quality, where's my end? A good quality thread. Otherwise that just ends up snapping, which is a bit frustrating. Get in. Can you show the stitches? I can sort of show you the stitches. This fabric's really hard to sort of hide the stitch, but that's sort of what we're looking at. I can show you the stitch work on this. It's barely visible. So I've tried to hide a lot of the stitch work on here. So basically you've got a bit of stitch line here. I've done like a whole zipper stitch up here as well, so you can barely see it. And there's a bit of stitch work down here. So I've tried to cleverly hide it in the scale work. There's also a stitch running up here, and then the stitch work runs around here. So yeah, the reptiles are really easy to hide it because of the scales. But obviously when you're using fabric like this, it's a little harder to hide, but you've virtually got no option but to have a seam line. But, you know, I try my best to sort of disguise it within wrinkling as well. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a trust the process type of thing. So generally these dolls look like crap the whole time. But when you're adding like the final details. But yeah, this fabric you sort of have to be a little careful as well, because if you put too much tension on it, it tends to tear just because of the nature of this. It's like a latex over the top of it. But we'll have a bit of a bum view here. But generally I just try and follow where the line naturally sits, and I try and do small stitch as well. The problem with using a small stitch with this fabric, again, it can tear. But yeah, I mean, the lizards are so much easier to hide. The reptiles are easier to hide. And obviously fur is super easy to hide. You can hardly tell there's a stitch anywhere. So if I find, so this is sort of the same deal. It's got a zipper stitch down the middle as well, down here and across here. So you can hardly tell. So it's a lot easier to hide it with fur as well. But yeah, you know, that's a little rundown. But yeah, I haven't actually worked with this type of fabric before. I've definitely avoided doing this. I could have used like a cotton fabric and airbrush the whole thing, but I didn't. I feel like it wasn't realistic enough. But I mean, if I do like a rhino or something, maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe the gecko will be gone. I've got a chameleon and a Gila monster as well. They're the other two reptiles that I did. If anybody's interested in having a sneak peek, I can show. But yeah, it was a veiled chameleon I did, and I did like a greeny sort of colour work on it. So that was cool. So I'm trying to sort of even out sort of this little wrinkling around the ass. So yeah, sneak peek. I'll show you. I'll go grab them. All right. So we have the veiled chameleon as well. So it's got hair. So yeah, this is the veiled chameleon. I did the eyes slightly at different angles as well, but same deal with the skin on this one. So I did all of the 3-frame wrap. Really? There you go. They're not my favorites, but I liked them. It was a challenge. So yeah, these are all sculpted and added on top. The tail is posable as well. The end is stitched because I can't get the armature in there, so I just decided to stitch it as like a slow curl. But yeah, you can curl the rest of it. But yeah, that's the veiled chameleon. So that was the first one. And yes, the Gila monster. Same deal. So I picked reptiles with like the round scales. Yeah, so I did all the pattern work on it as well. Again, feels nice. But yeah, there's his little face, sculpted head, and I did like the chunky underbelly, like poison glands, venom glands, and yeah, so little nails. But yeah, that's the Gila monster. And again, the stitch work is, I can't even find it. The stitch work goes down here, so you can barely see it. And sort of just here is the stitch work. So I tried to hide it as best as I could. But yeah, I went to the zoo last week and I had a Gila monster. I should have brought this to take a photo next to it. It looks spot on. Looks really good. Anyway, put him up there in the background. Thank you. So yeah, you know, it's just a labor of love, I guess. So it takes a bit of work, but we get there. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way these turned out. If I do another chameleon, I'm going to go like full color, like moody chameleon. It's a baby Asian elephant. This one's a commission piece. So yeah, just trying to get some stitch work done. And then after these have been sewn up, basically it's adding all the detailing work to make it look not awful. But yeah, so I'm just going to finish sewing this leg up and then I'll do something else because nobody wants to watch sewing for an hour, nor do I like sewing. So it's just very time consuming and I don't enjoy it. Could you please show us a lion? Yes. Yeah, I've done heaps of aquatic animals. I will get to lion in a second. I've done heaps not as many as other things, but this year I've done a few different ones. So I've done 2 leopard seals, both movable jaws. So I think they were a special animal that needed a movable jaw, just that little bit extra detail. Thanks, Angie. And I did a Stellar sea lion. That was a commission piece for the person that bought the first leopard seal. I'm thinking of doing an orca, which is probably not the most best idea. But just let me get the lions. I'll show you. All right, so this is the lady lion. Get out of here. So the lady lion was a bit different. I did like a growly, snarling face, just a bit more sassy. So yeah, sculpted all the detail work into the head. And then I airbrushed the whole body. So I've got the tail with a little, fluffy bit at the end. So that's the female. And then this is the boy with a dishevelled hairstyle. So he needs a bit of styling every now and again. He just needs a bit of styling. No, I want to do an armadillo. Yeah, I've come up with a plan for an armadillo. What do they cost? So these ones, the lines are $5.80 US each. So soft. Yeah, he's a bit of a. You need to style him a little bit every now and again. So yeah, that's the male. I went for a bit of a softer, still open mouth look with this one, but yeah, he's quite cool. Anyway, there are my 2 lions. Can I show his paws? And then underneath. Still got to have the toe beans. But yeah, back paws too. I did like a little bit of airbrushing in there as well. Yeah. And also I made him realistic too. He's a male. You gotta stick to the truth. That's what it is. We make realistic things. So yeah. I blame the people on my live when I did that. They pressured me. They said it was a good idea, so I did it. They said it was a good idea. They actually said, you better do it or not, or else. You better do it or else. I swear. I have to get a new piece of thread for this one. It's not enough to go around. But yeah, that sort of evened out the back a bit. I've got the tail as well. So I used some wire to get that tail. Thank you for the follow. I'm running out. So yeah, sticking to the small stitches, it just helps hide the seam a bit better. It's just a happy medium with this type of fabric. Sorry for the weird butt view. Weird butt view. Thanks, Angie. I don't know what my favorite reptile is. I don't know. I like blue tongue lizards. I do have that on my to-do list because I'm going to make like an open mouth version with like you can see the blue tongue. I think that's important. Frill neck lizard would be pretty cool. But yeah, I can't pinpoint. I like Komodo dragons. They're cool. So many options. I'm not the biggest fan of snakes. I don't not like them. I just not my favorite. But yeah, I've been picking animals that have like particular, like interesting features, like, you know, rattlesnake with the rattle, and trying to include it in the dolls. Or like trying to do expressions a bit more as well. Hence Poo Poo Cat. Maybe funny ones. Bit of comedic action. Alright, I'm almost finished. It's taking so long. Because it's short, it keeps coming out. I reckon I should just tie it off and start with a new piece of thread. Okay. Because I'm not going to make it with this piece. So what I'll do is I'll try and tie it off and do my best to hide it. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Can't wait to see Count Cat. I know. I've added the armatures in, so I'm going to leave that 24 hours and for it to cure, and then I can paint it. How long have I been making these? Coming up to 14 years, so a long time now. Yeah, it's been. I used to do a lot of like fantasy things when I first started, so I had like a whole world and like a map and everything, and I'd make like fantasy things with that, but I don't really do that much anymore. I got kind of over it. Oh my God, get in. Yeah, so I mean, I still do fantasy things, just not like I used to. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tie a big knot here so it doesn't pucker. I've got one fantasy thing on the go at the moment, which is a crystal stag. So it's very like reminiscent of what I used to do. The cat is scary. Maybe you're scaring the cat. All right. That just pulled right through. Cool, yeah, woo. Okay. Just gonna try and hide this little stitch. Okay. Is it real? It's a very tiny cat. No, it is not. All right, so let's carry on. I have to put it at a weird angle. Now I'm going to try and hide these stitch works. I think I'm going to airbrush some pattern work into it. See how it goes. But yeah. Hopefully the fur for Count Catular comes next week, early next week, and then I can start putting the doll together. Hopefully it doesn't take me that long. This elephant's almost done. I reckon it's got a few more hours work left in it, and then it should be ready to go home. So now with this little bit here, what I want to do is I sort of want a little flap of skin. So I'm going to pick up, I want this flap of skin here. So I've sort of folded over. It's a total experiment and it might look crap. If it does, I will undo it. But basically, I'm going to keep trying to have this bit overlapped here. So it's a little skin fold because I have like a little, I don't know, a skin fold, right? So I'm just going to follow the natural line and then I'm going to just try and get in here a little bit and not stick the needle in my thumb. That would be good. All right, so it's a little bit of a difficult stitch, but we'll get that. This is the last little section. So I'm just going to open that. I think there's a little bit of give here too because I'm trying to cover this flap of skin here. So when it goes, I think we've got some leeway, a little bit of leeway. Hey, from Tamworth. Welcome. I'm from Melbourne. Melbs. I get so many people from Queensland and Sydney. Not a lot from Melbourne. Surprisingly. I thought it would push Melbourne more, but maybe there's just more people in Queensland. Maybe Queensland's relate a bit more. Thanks for the follow. Okay, just going to push this in a little. This is a really awkward stitch. So basically, I don't know how well you can see. I'm trying to get in here. So it still has the fold. But I think it's looking okay. We're getting there. Just got like this little section here to do, and then that'll be done. One leg anyway. I'm still trying to keep it relatively small to have a neat seam line, but I reckon I'll airbrush. I think this fabric takes okay to painting. I've got fabric paints that dry first of all. But yeah, I think it'll be okay. All right, take that pin out. I'm just going to fold this a little, be a little bit neater. Okay. So I'm just following the natural way this is sitting. And it sort of becomes a bit easier when you're just getting towards the end. It starts, sitting nicely where you want it to go. Okay. You're in Tennessee? how's the situation over there with the shutdown? Weasley, Smiley. We're not getting much news coming from the States about it. Is that a lion cat dog? Lion cat dog? This is your first stream. You love the Grandma Kitty. Poopy cat. Well, welcome. Welcome to the weirdness that you've stumbled upon. We're on the home stretch for this leg. Thanks for the follow. Okay, so I'm purposely leaving this saggy. Yeah. Heart, is that Brazil? Are you from Brazil? All right, last little stretch. See. All right. Almost done. Home stretch. Last couple of stitches. So the stitch that I'm using is a ladder stitch. And then I'll have one more leg to do after this, which I'm not going to do now. I think I've done enough sewing. All right. One, okay, that's like 3 stitches left. Okay. Now, we'll just... Hey, Princess Clementine. Did it say Clementine? I think it said Clementine. Sorry if it didn't. I missed it. Okay. All right. Okay. Hurrah! Okay, so that's one leg. So I purposely left this dangly so I can sort of have a little bit of a dangly piece here because their sort of skin's stretchy. Does that make sense? So I wanted it sort of wrinkly. That makes sense. All right. So that's one leg. It's looking better. It's getting there. Trust the process. I've got a bit of work to do on the ears as well, so they're not quite finished just yet, but it's getting there. All right. So that's elephant. I've got this leg to do next. I'm not going to do it now, but I've got it all pinned together. So it's ready to be sewn. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. It sort of evened up the butt a little bit better. And yeah, I'm not too worried about wrinkles because elephants are wrinkly. All right. So little elephant. Next we have Shiranui's tail. So let me get some references. Okami. So I need to do basically the rest of the tail work. Yes. Okay. So basically what I do to do the tail pieces, so I've done looks so good, thank you. Will I add skin texture? So that the skin texture is kind of on the fabric already, but I will try and add more wrinkling to it. So I'll just wait till it's all sewn up and everything, and then I'll go in with maybe an airbrush and just like a thin brush and add like some wrinkling texture. But yeah, that's the plan. All right, so I got a brush and got my, so basically what I've been doing is separating some parts of the fur, and I don't know if anyone's seen the game, played the game Okami, but I'm sort of creating like these little textured bits that you see on the tail. So I have to do it for the shoulder ones and the like the feet ones as well. So yeah, did my music just stop? We can't have that. Anyway, it'll come back. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going in with a really thin layer of Elmer's glue. I don't want to clump it too much, but basically I'm just sort of shaping it into where I want these parts to sit. So yeah, I'm trying to sort of retain the softness. The swirls, yeah. So when it's all done, I'm going to go in with probably the airbrush with the black, and I will also go in with the red as well. So yeah. So I'm just sort of trying to train the hair to follow where I want it to be using the glue. I thought about using hairspray, but I didn't think it was enough. And hairspray tends to sort of yellow a little bit, so I didn't want that. But yeah, so you can see it starts to sort of clump and follow the direction you're trying to do. So that's a clump of fake fur that you sculpted, not needle fun. Yeah, so are you talking about the tail or the cat? So I basically sculpt the head pieces out of polymer clay and then attach the faux fur to the top of that. Yeah, this is just a tail that I've sewn, so it's just a complete piece of fur which I'm trying to sort of sculpt out of some glue. It's a total experiment, but it seems to be working okay. But yeah, I didn't know. I thought about needle felting it, but I didn't think it was the right approach because I didn't think it looked natural, if that makes sense. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think it's working. Because it hasn't, I've had it sitting for about a week and it hasn't changed shape. So that's good. All right, so directly on the other side, I just did this one. And, you know, it still feels like fur. Is that your cat? I don't know, is it? Did it get lost? My music has disappeared. No. Anyway, so on the other side, we need to do the swirls again. Tracking. So we need to sort of find the other side, which is about here. So I'm going to just split it. So I'm just using like a little needle tool to sort of split the fur. I want to make sure it is, in fact, the same size. Yes. How am I today? I'm good. How are you today? The cat is stuck like that. Or you could pose it that way, or this way, or that way. It's got a couple of different expressions. All right, so a little bit of glue, not too much. And I'm not like going balls out in it. I'm just sort of trying to part where I want this to go and create that line. You want a nice strong part here. And the swirls sort of come down to here. So I'm going to part this. And this fur is super easy to work with too. You thought the cat was stuck like that. Translate. I have to translate your comment. What is the name of the white piece that? It's a ball and socket armature. Translate. Yeah, so this is a ball and socket armature. So this is an example. This is the smallest size. My cat looks sick. Cat is pooping. But that's the smaller size. It comes in 2 other sizes as well. So there's like a medium and a bigger one. Okay. So I'm just removing like excess fur as well so it doesn't get all clumpy. Is my music back? Hooray. See how that goes. And okay. Now where's the circles? So we want the circles to sort of start coming in here. So basically, I'm just going to grab a little piece. Grab a little piece here. About here. And we're going in, aren't we? Is that right? In, where's the split? Where are we? In here. Okay. So basically I just have to work that out for a second. What is it? Can I take a picture of the name and search later? Yes, I have some in my shop if you want to know. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but yes, a ball and socket armature. All right, I got a little bit here, so I'm going to start slowly curling it. It's into here. Really delicately. Really delicately. Oh, thank you. I hope you understand that. Okay. How's that looking? Just going to get a little clump here and bring that. A bit of fiddling around with this. So you want a nice curl. Okay. All right. I feel like I could have brought that over a little bit more, but I'll just work with this. Looks magical. Thank you. Okay. Now I want to also separate this here. Bit awkward, but we're getting there. Imagine doing this on a pet. Okay, just splitting it. Put a little bit on either side. Just to sort of try and train it. Just trying to clean my fingers off the glue. Okay. getting a good curve here. It's starting to look good. All right. Okay, so we sort of created this little curl on this side. Does the glue work? Yeah, I didn't use hairspray because hairspray sort of yellows a little bit. And I don't know how permanent it is either. So I think it, yeah, I don't think it lasts. And glue's glue, right? This bit here is annoying me. I'm actually going to cut this bit. So there. Have you ever thought about making a giant animal the size of a real dragon? Jeez. I've made a really big dragon before. You made a monster doll once. He's still with me. He has red horns, brown and yellow eyes, brown fur. Nice. Okay, now the other one is going to go down here. Is this? Okay, so I'm going to split this here. There. Get some more glue. What is this for? Do you know the game Okami? If you do, the character Shiranui. So I'm making an art doll, a Shiranui art doll. So this is going to be the tail. I'm just sort of doing the little swirls into some fake fur. So yeah, I thought it'd be easier to do it off the doll. And then once I've done that, I can sew it on. And yeah, I'll have to do the shoulder parts and the bit on the ankles as well. So I'll do the same method. Okay, he has a white armature inside. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, okay. So, split this. Okay. And then we want that to swirl. Okay. if you have a YouTube channel. Yes, I do have a YouTube channel. I have heaps of videos for the last 10 years. You got a new lizard? What type of lizard did you get? Okay, so I'm just trying to do the swirl. Okay, I'm just going to pick up a little bit more fur so I can swirl it. You have a Krampus, a werewolf, someone else made. Oh, nice. I made a Krampus last year, actually. Oh, a crested gecko. Oh, that would be a cool gecko to make. Next gecko. Okay. Some curls. Okay. Now just do a little bit more glue on the sides here to reinforce that. Smooth it. Okay. And then what am I working on today? So if you know the game Okami, the character Shiranui, so I'm just doing the tail work. So all the swirls in the tail. And then once this is dry, I can sew it to the body. So that'd be good to actually get it fully sewn up. Okay. Now, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to continue the line down here. You need a name for him. Oh. I don't know. Cresty. Cristola. Lazarus. Lazarus. Lazarus? Instead of Lazarus, Lazarus. Gee, I don't know. It's always hard naming something, right? Depends what if you want like a silly name or a cute name. He's like a green hunter green. I don't know. Names are hard. Okay. Sort of getting there. These separated here. Keep it separated. So we have some smaller pieces. I'll cut that off there. Like that. Oh, thank you. It's totally an experiment. Hopefully it turns out how I envisioned it. It's just mainly getting these sections parted properly, like deep enough. Okay. All right. Tail piece nice and thin at the back. Separate. All right. So I don't have too much more to do on the tail. Put a little bit more in here because it's a little bit wild. There. I don't think this will get messed up too because it's pretty sturdy. So basically I got this bit left to do. I want to let this dry, this side, so I don't ruin it a little bit. But yeah, it's looking good. Right, so the next bit will be just finishing this section off, I think, which I'm not going to do today because I have to jump off. All right, so plan for tomorrow. I'm going to let this dry. Where's the wet bit? Here. So I'm going to let this dry. It'll be good tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm not going to be on. Sunday. I don't think I'll be on tomorrow, but Sunday I will do some painting on Count Catular. And also, what else do we do? I'll do a little bit more work on this. Maybe I'll get the next leg sewn up on the elephant. Anyway, there's a few things to do. But anyway, that is going to be it from me today. So there's Shiranui's tail. It's looking good with all the details. It's going to look really good when I add the black in the crevices. It's really going to bring it out, accentuate it some more. All right, so YouTube, probably, yeah, not going to be on tomorrow. More than likely won't be. And then I'll be back on Sunday. What is it? So I make posable art dolls. So if you know the game Okami, the character Shiranui. So I'm doing all the curl details in the tail so I can sew it on. That's the last bit that I have to sew. But yeah, I basically make fake taxidermy pieces if you're interested. But anyway, YouTube, I'll catch you maybe Sunday. See you later.